you to command it in this NIL space?
I love that the young ladies are getting this opportunity, and men getting this opportunity to be valued for the work that you do, because for so long the colleges were taking in the NCAA, getting all the money, but the players were the one doing the work.
Yep.
So I'm still a little undecided about the way that it's happening, because I do believe that it needs to be in a position where they still need to get their education.
Yeah.
You know, I think you still need to be rewarded, but I definitely think you definitely deserve to be paid because you're the one putting in the work. I don't think people understand how much of a commitment it is to play at that level.
Yeah.
And especially if you make it to the pros, like you're like 0.083, you know, like something ridiculous.
Yeah.
That means you've done a lot of work. You've put in a lot of times. That 10,000 hours to be a professional at anything, it doubles and triples for us to get to the highest level. So I really believe that they should be monetized and get an opportunity to play. But I'm excited for them, and I hope they do things the right way and are educated financially so they don't end up in bad situations.
That's cool.
And when it comes to the WNBA now, you were one of the pioneers, one of the architects of this league, and you must be loving how much it's growing exponentially nowadays. But I'm curious, and you know, a lot of the fans out there might not know how the WNBA started or even a lot of the challenges. What was one of the biggest challenges that you faced when you were in the WNBA at that point in time?
Shoot, for me, it was just getting in. You know, like the WNBA, the first years, it came after the 96 Olympics. And I remember I was playing overseas. I'd been overseas for 3 years already when they announced it. You know, David Stern and everybody, they had this press release and this interview and say they're going to start the WNBA. And I'm overseas and I've called my agent and I'm like, T, I have got to play in this league. But mind you, I didn't go to North Carolina like I initially said. I went to a small school. I wasn't a big name, but I'd been playing overseas. So they went through the Olympians. They put them on teams first, and then they got all the top college players, and then they came overseas. And so I'm playing overseas in France, leading the country, leading our league in scoring. So we thought. Yeah. And looking forward to having an opportunity, but I never got drafted. I wasn't invited into camp. You know, so lucky for me that first year, what they did, because they were trying to build up the hype around the league, in every city they had open tryouts. So I was living in Atlanta in the off season. Charlotte was the closest place. So I drove to Charlotte with 3 of my girlfriends, walk into a gym, there are 200 women trying out for 2 spots. And I was like, I got to get a job. You know, like I got to figure out. Literally people 18 to 80, like the grannies who were just excited because basketball was getting ready. That's what it was. You think I'm an OG. They were literally gray-haired.
Playing in skirts.
Only going to half court. Yep, like my mama. But I went to Charlotte and I tried out. I made it down to the final 6 and I got cut. So I figured out the next thing, and the following weekend I drove up to Cleveland, and same thing, 200 women was told at the end, Rushia, you had a great tryout, we're going to let you be a practice player, which meant, you know, practice with the team in case somebody gets hurt, but when they travel, you stay home and work out. When they play, you sit in the stands. Not exactly what I went up there for, but I just wanted an opportunity.
Especially from being a star in France.
Of course, I go from being the top scorer to being the scrub. Like you got to go from. But I still wanted to work. So at the end of our training camp, 3.5 weeks, coach called me in the office and said, hey, you had a great training camp. We're going to move you from the practice roster to a regular roster. So I'm all excited, calling my family and my friends. I get a chance to play. 7 games in, she calls me in the office again. You know, that's ZJ. It was like, she wanted the playbook. I'm about to get in trouble. But no, when she was telling me we played, we were going to be playing LA on ESPN, and she was going to start me. So I ended up being a starter. Wow. And for the majority of my career, I was a starter. But it was just a different journey. And that's one of the things I share with the kids I talk to. Everybody's journey is not the same. Yep. You know, the way you get there does not matter. But once you get there, do work. So that was the thing that I was mostly focused on. So my journey, and I think that's why I'm so heavily involved now with the league, because I know everybody has a different story. But at the same time, write your own.
Yeah.